You lied to us, Kal-El. The chamber trembled as the alien council stood in stunned silence, eyes blazing, fists clenched. Superman didn't deny it. He lowered his head, slowly pulling a shattered pendant from beneath his cape, a pendant glowing with Zod's crest. Because if I told you the truth, Earth would have been annihilated 7 years ago. The pendant of Zod. You lied to us, Kal-El. The words echoed like thunder through the marble pillars of the intergalactic High Council. Seated in a vast crescent-shaped chamber hovering above Earth's orbit, the most powerful beings from dozens of galaxies watched one man with shaking disbelief. Superman didn't move. He stood tall, eyes cold, cape gently fluttering in the artificial wind of the chamber's energy field. A silver-robed alien slammed his palm on the table, sending a spark across the surface. Answer us, Kryptonian. You kept this hidden for years. How long were you planning to deceive the Council? Superman said nothing. Then, with a slow and heavy breath, he reached under his suit. From beneath the House of El symbol, he pulled out something no one expected. A small, scorched pendant, glowing faintly red, engraved with the insignia of General Zod. The entire room gasped. That's impossible, whispered Wonder Woman, who stood in the shadows. Zod died in the Battle of Krypton. That symbol was destroyed, cried Martian Manhunter. Superman's voice cut through them like a blade. It wasn't destroyed. It was buried, along with a truth none of you were ready for. Suddenly, the chamber lights flickered. Alarms hummed deep below the platform. A voice came through the emergency comms. Warning, cloaked fleet detected. Bearing coordinates, Earth orbit. Unknown technology. Shields auto-activating. Superman clenched his jaw. He knew this moment would come. He had gambled with time, with loyalty, with his soul, but the day had arrived. 7 years ago, he began, I received a transmission. Not just any signal, it was a Kryptonian war cry. One that only Zod could have sent. The room went silent. But Zod was dead, said Thor, stepping forward, Mjolnir humming with electricity. Wasn't he? That's what I believed. Until I decoded the signal. Superman turned to face them all. Zod didn't die on Krypton. He escaped. He found a dimension between dimensions, one where time doesn't flow. The Phantom Core, gasped Dr. Strange. Superman nodded. And he didn't just survive. He built an army, not just of Kryptonians, but of hybrids, alien warlords, exiled gods, fallen heroes. He calls them the Ascendants. And they're coming for Earth. The Council erupted in chaos. Voices overlapping, chairs flying back, banners collapsing. You should have told us, screamed Green Lantern. You could have prepared us. You let us sit blind while an army gathered in the shadows. Why, Kal-El? Superman's eyes glowed briefly, a flash of heat vision pulsing just beneath the surface of his restraint. Because if I told you the truth, Earth would have been annihilated 7 years ago. He threw the pendant onto the council table. It cracked the glass. Inside the gem, a recorded hologram. It flickered on. A holographic Zod appeared, scarred, alive, and smiling. To my dearest nephew, Kal-El, the recording hissed. I'm proud. You've grown into the perfect mask. The golden sun. The Earth's false god. But we both know what you are, a survivor. Like me. Zod turned to the side, revealing something horrific. A cryo chamber with a baby Kryptonian inside it. I have your son. Superman's eyes closed. A murmur passed through the council like wildfire. Son? Clark as a child? Is that even possible? With who? Superman's voice dropped to a whisper, but it was heard everywhere. Her name was Rannall, a scientist, a refugee from a Kryptonian splinter colony. We thought she died during an interstellar escape, but Zod found her first. He paused. My son is half Kryptonian, half something else. If Zod turns him, he could be the weapon that breaks Earth in half. Suddenly, the room went dark. A red sigil blazed across the wall, Zod's crest. Then came the message. Transmission override. From the Shadow Edge Fleet. Zod has declared galactic reclamation. Earth is target Alpha. And then, a final message in Kryptonian. Kal-El has betrayed the blood. The council will fall. Council cracks. Superman turned to leave. I didn't lie to protect myself. I lied to buy you time. And now, asked Captain Marvel, rising. What now, Superman? He stopped, turned, and for the first time, he looked afraid. Now, I go alone. As Superman flew out of the chamber, a hidden figure in the shadows activated a communicator. A whisper crackled through. He confessed. Just like you said he would. Initiate Phase 2. Bring in the corrupted Justice League. The betrayal protocol. The void of space blurred around Superman as he soared faster than light, past satellites, debris, and the remnants of abandoned alien stations. His mind raced faster than his flight. He has my son. Zod has my son. He didn't have a plan. Only a direction. A signal, weak, ancient, buried behind 74 encryption layers. One that he'd secretly tracked for years. Suddenly, a burst of golden light crackled across his path. Kal-El, you're not going alone. Thor appeared, spinning Mjolnir with a magnetic hum, flanked by Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel. Their faces were grim. You betrayed the council, Thor growled. But you're still our friend. No, Superman replied. I betrayed your trust. There's a difference. Before they could answer, a violent tremor echoed across the cosmos. The stars rippled like waves. Time itself warped. Brace, shouted Captain Marvel. From the darkness, a massive shadow emerged, a dreadnought shaped like a bleeding eye, blacker than space itself. Around it, dozens of Shadow Edge vessels activated. The Ascendants had arrived. Orange square scene switch. Inside the council meanwhile. Back in the council chamber, chaos ruled. Batman stood alone, hands behind his back, as holographic windows opened around him. Data feeds. Sensor reports. Atmospheric changes. Power surges on Earth. One signal pulsed red. Unauthorized Kryptonian tech activation, Gotham sector. I knew it, Batman whispered. He planned a fail-safe. Suddenly, a blade pressed to his throat. Quiet. Sharp. Deadly. You always dig too deep, Bruce. Black Widow. But her voice, that wasn't right. Her eyes flickered. Red. Her movements, not human. Her skin, synthetic? You're not Natasha. No, the thing hissed, face glitching, revealing a second form beneath. Alien Widow, a hybrid shapeshifter from the outer moons of Ephra. Batman ducked, dodged, and slammed her with an EMP batarang. Her body fizzed and collapsed, wires snapping, bones cracking unnaturally. The council's compromised, Batman muttered. He opened a comm. Alpha signal. Protocol Shadefire. Activate the Phantom Cloak. From deep within the moon's shadow, a hidden bat base pulsed to life. Green square scene switch. Superman versus the Ascendants. Superman rocketed toward the bleeding eye ship, his fist glowing with sun-forged energy. Thor and Wonder Woman followed, blades out, lightning crackling. Kal, what's the plan? Asked Wonder Woman. We break in, find the cryopod, and get my son. But as they neared the ship, it opened. Not with missiles, not with monsters, but with a welcome mat. A perfect replica of Smallville appeared inside, barn, fields, even his childhood home. No, Superman whispered. He's using the memory warp engine. They landed. Thor looked around, confused. Is this Kansas? Suddenly, Clark heard it, a soft voice. Daddy. He turned and froze. A child stood at the barn doors. Black hair, blue eyes, floating 2 inches off the ground. John. Superman's voice cracked, but the child didn't smile. His eyes turned red. General Zod sends his regards, Father. Suddenly, dozens of corrupted beings stepped from the shadows. Versions of Aquaman with lava skin, Iron Man with bones for armor, and Hulk with 6 arms and horns. All part of the corrupted league, brainwashed heroes from fractured timelines. A red portal opened, and through it, Zod stepped out, alive, smiling, wearing Superman's old black suit. Yellow square dialogue, Zod's monologue. You never understood, Kal-El, Zod spoke calmly. You thought Earth was your redemption, but it was always your leash. Let him go. Superman growled. I'm not holding him. He came to me. When you lied to the universe, he saw the truth. You're manipulating him. Am I? Or did you do that all by yourself? Hiding the truth, playing God, pretending your blood didn't come from war. Superman lunged, fist ready, but John raised a hand and stopped his father midair. The boy's power was unmatched. He's more than you, Zod whispered. He's the next evolution. Blue circled back at the council simultaneously. Batman stood at the council's main console. Green Lantern, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange joined him. Earth's under siege. We need to act now. We can't contact Superman, Strange said. He's walking into a psychic trap, Batman replied. So we pull him out. But we do it my way. He inserted a crystal chip labeled Zeta X into the console. Time to wake up the dead. Suddenly, a red chamber deep within the council's vault hissed open. Inside, Doomsday, frozen, shackled, but alive. Wait, what are you doing? Yelled Green Lantern. Sending a monster to fight monsters, Batman said. Red square scene. Final clash begins. Back inside the false Smallville, the corrupted League circled Superman, Thor, and Wonder Woman. You can't stop this, Kal-El, said Zod. You're too late. The universe will see Earth for what it is, a symbol of failure. And your son will be its executioner. Superman looked at John. I don't blame you. But you need to remember who you are. I am remembering, John said. I remember the father who abandoned me. Then, a blast of sonic energy ripped through the scene. Zod stumbled. Everyone turned. From a sky, a massive meteor came crashing down, cracking through the illusion. From inside the crater rose Doomsday, unchained, unstoppable, and angry. Superman turned to Thor. Change of plan. You hold off the corrupted League. He looked at Wonder Woman. You get John out. Then he flew toward Doomsday. And I'll do what I should have done years ago. He clenched his fists. Finish this. Cut to black. The monster, the father, the son. Boom. Doomsday erupted from the crater like a force of nature, eyes burning with ancient fury, spikes ripping through the illusion of Smallville. The corrupted landscape around them twisted, glitching violently as the memory warp engine collapsed under the weight of his power. Thor's hammer flew, lightning cracking like a war drum. We need to scatter now, he shouted. Superman didn't flinch. His eyes locked on Zod, but his heart, it was staring at John, his son, floating above, torn between two legacies. John, listen to me. This isn't you. He's using you. You left me. John screamed, the sky fracturing with his voice. You knew I was alive, and still you let him take me. I thought you were dead. Superman's voice cracked with raw grief. Zod faked everything. Zod stepped forward, calm amidst chaos. Don't beg, Kal-El. It's pathetic. Superman's fist clenched. Not in rage, but in sorrow. Cross swords, the triple collision. Doomsday let out a monstrous roar, charging straight toward Zod. But Superman intercepts him mid-stride with a shockwave punch, creating a crater beneath him. Dust, blood, and cracked stone erupted into the air. You want a war, Zod? You'll get one. But it starts with me. Doomsday didn't care about sides. He swung wildly at both of them. Zod used John's energy to teleport away just in time. Let the boy watch, Zod grinned from above. Let him see what kind of savior his father truly is, a beast among beasts. Superman took the full brunt of Doomsday's charge, smashing through layers of the shadow ship. Blood trickled from his mouth. He wasn't holding back anymore. I'm not fighting for the council. I'm fighting for him. Suddenly, Wonder Woman lassoed John midair, pulling him to a rooftop. He's not your weapon, Zod. John blasted the lasso with heat vision, but Diana absorbed it with her gauntlets. Your anger isn't your identity. You're more than his prisoner. John hesitated. Brain inside the mind. The fracture begins. As the fight raged on outside, inside John's mind cracks formed. Memories collided. A holographic teddy bear. A lullaby in Kryptonian. The smile of his real mother, not the cold replays Zod fed him. His father, Superman, laughing beside Lois. Real. Human. Warm. Was it all lies? Back outside, Zod felt a shift. His link to John flickered. No, not now. He sent a mental pulse. John screamed, clutching his head, collapsing in Wonder Woman's arms. Orange Square, the secret weapon, Batman's Shadow Protocol. Back at the Council's War Hub, Batman stood over a dark map. They're in phase collapse. If John breaks Zod's mental tether, the army will glitch. We have a shot. Dr. Strange nodded. You still have that. Batman opened a case. Inside, a glowing blue dagger forged from phantom core essence. This was meant to kill me 5 years ago. Now, I'll use it to end Zod's grip. Strange cast a portal. Batman stepped through, vanishing into the battlefield. Red Square final fight begins. Superman, battered and bleeding, pinned Doomsday against a reactor core, pushing with every ounce of his will. This ends with me, he growled. No, said Zod, flying down with a crackle of red lightning. It ends when he chooses. Zod lifted his hand, and John rose with it, floating like a puppet. But something changed. John's eyes flickered, then dimmed. I choose, John whispered. And then he vanished. Zod spun. Where is he? From behind, a shadow struck. Batman. He plunged the phantom dagger into Zod's spine. Zod let out an unholy scream. You always underestimated humans, Batman hissed. We fight dirty. Zod collapsed. Yellow Square, John's decision. High above, John reappeared beside Superman. His aura glowed, not red but gold. I remember now. Everything. And I'm not your weapon, Zod. Superman, gasping, looked at his son, now glowing with a hybrid power of Kryptonian sun force and something else, something ancient. Who are you? Superman asked. John smiled. The future. As the corrupted fleet began to shut down and Zod writhed in defeat, a final shadow loomed over the battlefield. A dark figure stood on the edge of the dimension, cloaked, silent, watching. Then it spoke. Phase 1 complete. Now begins the reckoning. Cut to black. The reckoning has begun. The battlefield was silent. Zod lay crumpled, impaled by the phantom dagger, his once commanding voice reduced to a faint rasp. Doomsday had vanished into a collapsing rift, pulled back by the force that first created him. But the silence didn't bring peace. It brought something far worse. Phase 1 complete. Now begins the reckoning. The voice had no echo, yet it shook the minds of everyone present. Even Superman staggered. It wasn't just sound. It was memory. The words injected visions straight into their consciousness. John dropped to his knees, clutching his head. Dad, I see something old. Too old. A figure emerged through a distortion in space. Cloaked, faceless, surrounded by fragments of broken time, like a shattered mirror floating behind him. Superman stood in front of John, shielding him. Identify yourself. The figure stepped forward. When it spoke, every timeline trembled. I am Kal-El, the first Kryptonian erased from history to protect a lie. Yellow Square, the forgotten bloodline. Kal-El raised a hand and time stopped. Birds froze mid-flight. Wind halted. Even light bent unnaturally. Your council erased me, he said, eyes glowing behind the hood. They feared what I could become, a Kryptonian not born of the sun, but of the void. Wonder Woman and Batman, who had just arrived, couldn't move. Only John remained untouched. Why me? John asked. Because your blood carries my spark. Zod only discovered it, but I designed it. Superman looked at John, confused. He's lying. Am I? Kal-El waved his hand again. A holographic scroll of genetics appeared, a visual DNA map. John wasn't just Superman's son. He was a fusion of El and Voidborn. He's not a child, Kal-El. He's a living key. And the lock is Earth. Red Square, Kal-El's vision. Kal-El pointed to the sky. A constellation shifted, revealing a dark silhouette. Earth, eclipsed by a spiraling black structure. A prison has stood beneath Earth's crust for eons. It holds the gods your council betrayed, and they are waking. What gods? Batman demanded. The ones who built the first justice and were cast out. Kal-El turned to John. When the stars align in one cycle, the key must choose Awaken the true protectors of existence, or let the corrupted ones reign. Superman stepped forward. You're manipulating him. He's just a boy. No, John whispered, standing. I'm not. I've always felt this pull. Tears formed in Superman's eyes. Then you have to choose the path of life, not destruction. Kal-El extended a hand to John. Come with me. Learn the truth. Become what you were meant to be. Warning, the shocking choice. John looked at his father, then at Kal-El. I'll go, but only to see the truth for myself. Superman's heart broke, but he didn't stop him. Then promise me one thing, Clark said, voice low. Whatever you learn, choose who you want to be, not what we tell you. John nodded. In an instant, Kal-El and John vanished into a fracture in space. Council panic. Back in the High Council chamber, alarms blared. Timeline shift detected. Origin point destabilizing. All Superman-class DNA signatures are spiking. Batman clenched his fists. They've activated the Earth core lock. Wonder Woman looked pale. If John is the key, and Kal-El turns him. Superman stepped through the council doors, blood still drying on his cape. Then Earth won't be attacked. It'll become the weapon. Cut to black. The choice of the key. Black void. Silence. John floated between stars that had long died before Earth was born. Where am I? He whispered. Inside the origin of all lies, Kal-El's voice echoed. Here, time bends and truth burns. As Kal-El guided him through the void realm, ghostly images formed. Timelines that never existed. Cities where Superman became tyrant. Earths where the council ruled as gods. Dimensions where John was born as a weapon. Then he saw it, the Earth core lock, an ancient machine buried beneath Earth's mantle, pulsing, waiting to awaken. If you bond with it, Kal-El said, you'll become the harbinger. The universe will kneel to the true justice. John looked down on Earth, spinning innocently in the distance. He saw people, children, his father. You want me to rule them? No, Kal-El said. To reset them. Cleanse the corruption your father was too weak to destroy. John's hands trembled. Power surged around him, uncontrollable. Orange Square back on Earth. The countdown begins. At the Hall of Justice, chaos unfolded. The core lock's energy is rising, Dr. Strange warned. If John bonds with it, we can't stop the awakening. Then we shut it down before that happens, Batman replied. He's still a child, Superman said, landing hard. I can reach him. He's not just a child anymore, Batman argued. He's a time bomb. Superman turned. If I fail, then do what you have to. But let me try. He launched into the sky, disappearing into the rift Kal-El left behind. Yellow Square Void Showdown. John stood in front of the core lock, its tendrils reaching toward his DNA, sensing the perfect match. You feel it, don't you? Kal-El whispered. You were never meant to be just a boy. You're the future of Krypton. You are justice, not your father. Then why does it feel so wrong? John replied, stepping back. Because fear clouds clarity. Suddenly, boom. Superman crashed into the void, panting. John, look at me. Dad, you're not a weapon. You're not a prophecy. You're my son. And I don't care what blood runs through you. You get to choose who you are. John's eyes welled up. I don't want to be him. Kal-El snarled. Then you die like him. He lunged at Superman, shadows turning to blades. But John raised his hand, glowing gold-white, with blazing power. No. In an instant, he absorbed the core lock's energy, but didn't bond with it. Instead, he turned it inward and shattered it. The void screamed. Kal-El disintegrated into stardust. Red Square the end, or a new beginning. Superman caught John as he collapsed. You chose mercy, he whispered. John smiled faintly. I chose me. Purple Square final scene. 1 week later. The council reconvened. Earth was safe, for now. The core lock is gone, Wonder Woman said. But its fragments scattered across dimensions. Others will come, Batman warned. Others like Kal-El. Superman stood before them all, cape torn but eyes clear. Then we don't prepare just for war. We prepare to guide the ones who can end it. He looked at John, now standing beside him in a new suit, symbol of both L and Earth combined. Not as weapons, but as hope. Fade out. The end.